And this church is
So I guess the right question would be, which is the oldest standing church, right? Because they all have a different foundational point, right? So which would be the oldest?
We probably in Europe or in all Christianity.
In all of Christianity.
The first Christian state in the history of humanity was the kingdom of Armenia in Asia, and so the oldest churches there are the oldest one. But if you want to say, and no, not a church as a building, but a church as a place where they were celebrating some services, the oldest ones are the catacombs in Rome. Catacombs in Rome that were built starting from the 1st century AD.
Have you been down there?
Sure.
We're going there next.
There are kilometers. Okay. There are miles and miles and miles of underneath passages that were made starting from the first century AD, but even the second. But they were in the beginning places where they just buried people, and when they were hiding, sometimes they were making some services inside.
So this is part of the basilica as well?
No, this is the Doge's Palace.
This is the Doge.
This is the Doge's
Okay,
Palace.
okay.
So let's do like this. Let me check the time because, my point of view, you can even get inside to the Doge's Palace by yourself. So what is my suggestion? We make now a little walk till the waterfront. I take you to the Bridge of Sighs. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
I show you over there and I tell you why it has this romantic name. Then we go back. We walk all over the rest of the square. I tell you more about the other buildings of the square, and then we check out. Okay?
Okay.
We see the time. Why this big deal? Strange. Anyway, the pink house here was really working as a White House, with the only difference that this was the White House of Venice, the Congress of Venice, and the highest court of Venice. So, 3 functions in one. The house of the Doge. Doge was the main. You cannot see almost the color, you know.
I know.
Never mind.
And I'm being brave to leave the shirt on.
See, with 3 kids, you are enough trained about jobs and so on. So, and the Doge was living here, so he was elected among the Venetians by the noblemen and among the noblemen, and he was entitled to enter and live in this place. Then we had all the councils dealing with the government. That's why it's a very nice monument to see, because you see these luxury halls full of decorations and paintings. And then we have the Court of Justice inside with the annexed jail house. It was built 7 centuries ago. Briefly, I will tell you now about the jailhouse by looking the Bridge of Sighs from that bridge. Then we turn back and I tell you more about the other islands and these columns we have on the back. 7 centuries ago, they were building this palace. They were having some cells at the ground floor and, at the first floor. So in America, you don't say ground floor, I mean first floor. And then upstairs under the roof. They were always overpopulated. So 3 centuries later, they were deciding to make a brand new jailhouse. We call them the new jailhouse, while they were built 4 centuries and a half ago. So depends from which point of view they are built. And it's the building in front of us. The building that, of course, was built on the other side of a little canal. No space. In order to link the Court of Justice of the Doge's Palace with the new jailhouse, they were building a little bridge called the Bridge of Sighs. A little bridge which was closed to avoid that people were jumping from and escaping into the water, having nice windows, and a couple of centuries ago they were, during the Romantic period, saying that calling this Bridge of Sighs Let's see what. Question. You want a picture here?
Yeah.
Because if you are alone, you know. It's a dream for stopping in the middle of the... One question, one thing. Is a dream for you to be in the middle of the bridge, hoping that nobody's crossing, you know? Mamma mia. Hello? If you want, you can go. Both.
Go.
No, I'll make a picture to you. Come on. I know you're not in here in honeymoon, but who knows? This is your anniversary.
Yeah.
So, it's not possible, you know, to isolate from the rest of the
That's okay.
people and... I tried, but... I used tu. 1, 2, 3. Again.
Thank you.
You know, this is also a monument. This is not a place like a fashion shop that you have to make pictures. Like, so you can easily understand that the two windows and that are also on the back, they were used just to avoid that people were jumping. This is clearly a jailhouse. If you visit inside Doge's Palace, you cross the bridge from inside and you visit the cell. And typical picture here is the bridge with the gondola under the bridge. Bridge of Sights, this name because 19th century they were thinking that all the prisoners passing from the bridge, they were looking the freedom for the last time from the windows and they were sighing, you know. This is a total invention. Do you really think that all the people were stopping? No.
It's romanticized.
It's the way of making this
How long
romantic.
is that ride to all the way through? How long is it? How long is the ride all the way?
The gondola
What
ride?
does it mean, the ride of
The
the
gondola.
How long are the normal ride of the gondolas? The minimum ride is 30-35 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Because I didn't want to be there for an hour and a half. Okay. We'll do that next.
Remember, you don't have to pay more than 8 euros.
No?
No?
Because this is the price for 30-35 minutes. If it's after 7 o'clock, it's 100 euros because it's night, evening fare. Okay, let's go back. You know, this is the way of living for the Venetians. We are always dealing with the fact that there are so many tourists. That,
Sometimes I
we
get on
don't
your
really,
nerves.
yeah, but we don't really care if someone is asking to move because of the camera. I did it because I was with you, and I did it because you were, of course, making the picture as well. But I always answer, and I always try to explain that cameras, they have to adapt to the life, not opposite.
Right.
So if I want to make a picture of something and people are passing through, I go closer to the picture
Right.
and that's it, closer to the target, and that's it. Otherwise, I don't make the picture. This is, you can do it if you are on a place without anyone, but
Right.
with 24 billion of tourists.
So
you know,
we stay here. We're staying here, so we notice that after a certain amount of time, it's all empty. It's emptier.
Sure. Because we have many day excursionists and many people that really think that Venice is like an amusement park, full stop. They don't care about the history, they don't care about the monument, you know. Just, they want to say, I've been in Venice.
Right.
And so pictures are crucial for this.
What is that building over there?
Exactly. The big dome church in front of us, it's still part of Venice. It's a church, a Baroque church, built 3 centuries and a half ago, in order to pray the Holy Mary to end the big plague. And that's why the name of the church is Holy Mary of Plague, of Mary of Health. the ships in the past were arriving from the Adriatic Sea, which is behind the long stripe of island you can see in front of you. That is the Lido beach. Behind you have the seaside. So galleys, ships were arriving from there. They were trading. They were stopping by the tower with the golden globe. They were stopping there and paying the taxes before entering through the Grand Canal, before entering into the Grand Canal and going to the marketplaces or the warehouses. If they were important people, I don't know, the delegations of Arizona, for example, they were stopping here and they were entering the city using these two columns as a triumphal entrance, you know. The two islands you can see there, these are really two separated islands. The church and the custom tower are still part of the city of Venice. The other two islands, they are not connected by bridges with Venice, so they have different names. Remember, by the way, that every time you cross a bridge, and in Venice there are 400, you cross a bridge and you move from one island to another one. The only thing is that since we have all bridges, these islands are all called Venice. These islands in front of us, they have different names, San George, and Giudecca, because no bridges in the middle. And the other, you know, Murano, and then Murano and Torcello, no bridges, different islands. This island in front of us now is a cultural center with other little international organization. And the other long stripe of island, the Giudecca, is a kind of suburb of Venice, like a piece of Venice.
Would you say for us to go visit, or
no? When?
Over there
The
to
other
the
islands?
islands, the other islands?
Let's do like this. You stay how many days now in Venice?
Till Saturday.
Let's do like this. We leave 5 minutes before ending.
Okay.
I give you all the suggestions.
Great.
In case you have a map, it would be even better because I can pointing out where to go. And
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
even because I want to hear your preference as well. It's not easy, you know, to say, do you suggest me to go there? Yes, but depends. Maybe I will suggest to you and not to another one, or opposite. And now we leave the square a little bit. We still have to say something about the square, but I don't want to walk all the 3 hours only here. The clock tower. Clock tower, it's in front of us. On the top we have the two guys that, unfortunately for them, every hour, 24 hours a day, every day, since 5 centuries, they played the time.
Oh, wow.
Both, first the right and then the left, alternating. And digital numbers were added later, they change every 5 minutes. So now it's 11:35, but probably it's 38 or 39, or who knows. Below you have a rounded clock which is marking the time, moon phases and zodiac signs.
So when did you say they put the digital sign in there?
100 and a half years ago, more or less.
So is it automatically, or is somebody going up there changing?
No. I mean, the numbers are functioning with the mechanical engine of the clock, which was rebuilt in the 18th century, 1700s. If you prefer hundreds, I will tell 100. Otherwise, I will make a confusion with both. So 1700, and originally the first mechanism was built a couple of centuries later. So original mechanism, end of 1400s, rebuilt 1700s, and now still the same. It's a mechanic. No electricity, no people running inside the wheel.
Who sets the time? Who sets the?
There's a pendulum.
There's a pendulum.
So.
Wow, it's interesting.
Suggestion, especially in these days that we have very beautiful light. If I'd be in your shoes, maybe more in the afternoon when there is less people, I would go up to the bell tower, to this one. this is the queue to get inside. Normally, in morning time, you have always more people queuing than in the afternoon. In all museums, everywhere. I don't know why.
Is there elevators or stairs?
You have an elevator. That's why I suggest you to go up. And cost is 8 euros. 8 euros each, but the view upstairs is fantastic. You can see all the lagoon, you can see the mainland, you can see the Dolomites, the Alps, if it's clear. This big rocket was built as a watchtower to see if enemy were approaching Venice. This seagull is very rude. And when they understood that they really didn't need any defensive structure, they were reconverting the bell tower, the watchtower into a bell tower. They were building the belfry upstairs, and they were making the tower working with the church, calling people, of course, to the masses. Wow, what happened? I didn't realize this morning because I was not passing through here. I wanted to tell you something about this coffee house, but it's closed, maybe because of the war. This is never closed. This place is never closed.
It was open last night.
I will tell you because you will pass here maybe many times. This is the oldest coffee house still open in Venice. It was opened 3 centuries ago, 1720. Important people were attending this bar. They were taking their coffee or hot chocolate, for example. Charles Dickens, Lord Byron, the poet, Tchaikovsky.
What's the name of that? Florian?
Florian Cafe. Tchaikovsky, and I forgot, Richard Wagner, Giacomo Casanova, and of course, Davide. Me. And sometimes it's not only the oldest cafe, it's also the most expensive one.
So let me ask you this question. Why are these stones black like this?
This is because of the stove of the past. This has been restored a couple of years ago, so has been totally cleaned. This is going to be restored, as you can see. Look at the first part. And, Venice, I told you, is a city that when you start to restore, when you end from this side, you have to restart from the other side. These two buildings together that are forming the square, this is the real big St. Mark's Square. Actually, I wanted to go to the sun in order, if you want, to have a picture together in St. Mark, if you want. And even because if you have me, you can tell me, David, I want this, David, I want that. If you are asking people passing, then you have to accept what they are making.
Right.
And the two buildings were houses of noblemen that were entitled to live there because they were elected to the highest political positions. And these positions were called procuratori. These roles were called procuratori. That's why we have procuratie. Procuratie vecchie, old procuratie, 1500s, 1600s, new procuratie. The other building behind the LG, they changed it, the LG. Yesterday was another, or a couple of days ago, another sponsor. This is an awful sponsor paying for the restoration. And one of the last one, because after this all contracts are ending, and after the restoration, no more.
I thought that was a terrible place to put.
Mamma mia! And this is a mobile phone. Sometimes there was a big lipstick and underwear,
Not
very nice. And behind this is a building that has been built by Napoleon, the newest building in Venice, built yesterday, 1807. Napoleon built his royal palace here in the center of the Republican city. Sorry, not royal palace, imperial palace, because Napoleon was the emperor at that time. Probably one of the most hated museum for the Venetians. If you ever visit the Doge's Palace with the same ticket, which cost a lot, 16 euros, with the same ticket you see other 3 museums, all included, for 6 months, so maybe you can even go back within the next year, who knows, February maybe, I don't know. The entrance of the museum is, all the other 3 museums are just below the mobile phone.
Okay.
Just below.
We passed it there. I saw it.
So this is the entrance. You see the Museo Correr, which is all displayed here, which is a museum of artworks and history of Venice, archaeological museum with some Roman and Greek original items, and the museum of the public library, which is on the other side. But, you know, I'm not suggesting you to go because it's nice to go if you have a short time. But if you buy the ticket, you can even run inside, you know, who cares? Because you don't really need to
is there a
stop,
big
you
queue
know.
there too?
No.
Careful.
Oh, fortunatamente è Piazza Segranda.
So where did you say? Over here in the sun to take a
I
picture?
said, fortunately, the square is big, you know?
Yeah. So do you think over here to take a picture?
Yeah, if you want, I mean,
Yeah.
or here as you like. Maybe here because of the sun. I don't know where is the sun? From there, so maybe it's not really bad for
Over here?
the camera by standing here. Maybe, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe here is better because the sun is really, really...
Yeah, I think it's...
wanted you to be enlightened by the sun, you know? It's my point of view. You need to go to the sun. Sorry, but you know. And then you are making the shade into the face of your lady. Bravo. Bravi. Later when you go home, you don't remember me, you remember the picture, you know?
It's a wide angle. I brought the wide angle lens.
Yeah, it's
Can
fantastic.
you show them my...
No, it's good. It's good.
That's how you're pulling it.
I brought the wide angle lens to get more.
Yeah, but perfect for when you are on a place with very narrow
Right.
streets. Let's avoid the crowd. Let's go over there.
So what's interesting is that in the United States, we consider building. I have an office in a building that's built in 1930, and they consider that historical, you know. And they actually put a plaque on the wall that said historical building, 1930.
But you know, it's a matter of it's subjective. It's not, you know. Depends. We don't have to be, you know, very. You want me to tell you a little bit about the maps?
Sure.
Just a little bit, because probably you're curious.
This is
that
French
it's so-
influence, right?
Sorry?
French influence?
Remember an important thing. Carnival of Venice was here when French were not having the toilet in their royal court, and they had to have the garçon pipi in Versailles getting around. So many things that look French, they were just taken by the French, okay? I'm telling you because they are very good in marketing.
Yeah.
But then they, you are also calling your plate in the French way.
What plate?
French fries.
French fries, yeah. That's right.
I don't think that in France there were potato
No.
before Columbus. Anyway,
That's, wow, I didn't think of it that way.
Carnival was one of the European typical habit. Why? Carnevale, carne, meat, vale, it's allowed. It's a moment before Quaresima, before the Lent, before Easter, that you could do whatever you want before concentrating to the Easter. So during the 40 days of preparation of Easter, no meat scenes, no getting fun. Before, party, joyful. These are modern masks that are traditional in Venice nowadays for the nowadays carnival, which is a tourist attraction. People, they wear this kind of masks, they go around and then get pictured from other people, using Venice as a background. These are also bought as souvenirs nowadays, and souvenirs, of course, they must be very attractive. I don't see original ones, so I'm sorry. And maybe the other window? No. Just use your imagination. The most simple masks, they were of course totally white or one color, black. And this was the original masks. Why the original masks were less attractive than this one? Because these are easy to understand who is wearing them. Mark, isn't it? No? So if Mark is just keeping this, I know that behind the mask I have Mark. But if at that time, 3, 4, 5, 6 centuries ago, people were getting fun during Carnival, they wanted to hide the identity using blank, anonymous, unisex masks. Why? An engaged and married could be free. Priest and nun were normal citizens. Rich were poor, poorer were rich. Ladies were men, men were ladies. Everybody were equal in front of the Carnival way of getting fun. Carnival was lasting 3 months, and it was at the time when Venice was the most libertine city in Europe. And people were coming from abroad, noblemen and rich people, of course, to get fun as well. That was, of course, one of the season that we called the Giacomo Casanova time.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
No more.
No, they do have that kind of.
It's interesting to understand. You were pointing a good question. No more. Why? Because we all live in the society of the image, in the society that appear. So now it's more important to appear with a mask than to be. In the past, they were using the mask as a tool to act. I don't need to make a drawings.
You have a chance to get in here.
Like it.
Yeah.
This is the place where, when I was a child, they told me that gondolas were sleeping, you know? This is a place if you come under...
You were working here, little, you never fell
Sure.
in the water?
You live in a big city or a small city?
It's big city.
You have cars?
Yeah.
Your kids were walking near the cars or not?
No.
No.
I mean, they were free when they were walking or not?
No.
No, you always took.
Oh
their
no.
hands?
They can walk.
Always?
Yeah. No, they can walk. They
I
can
mean,
walk on
even
them.
young kids like
Yeah.
him, for example, they know that they cannot go near
So
to
so you don't play in the
to
road.
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same
it's the
thing.
same, you know.
So you've been here, do you get out? Do you travel out? Do you go like to Barcelona?
Well, I have been studying mainly in Venice because, you know, studying history of art in Venice means studying computer science in the Silicon Valley. But I've been working in Ireland and in Finland.
Oh, okay, nice. When are you going to the United States?
I don't know. I don't really know now because a bit late. But finally, my wife is pregnant, so we will now.
That changes That changes everything. Huh?
Sure. My wife is 40. I'm 41, so a bit late.
Nice. Is this your first baby?
Yes.
Congratulations.
You know, thank you. In Europe, we marry much older than in the United States, and we also have babies as well later. There was a fire here a couple of days ago. Yes. First floor and even upstairs. And now this is everything closed.
So how does the fire department come in here? They
By
do?
boat.
By boat.
All the services, all the services in Venice are using boats, and police, fire department, and funeral boats, ambulance, everything. Later we are going to reach the Grand Canal, and I'll tell you more about this very strange habit.
Okay.
Let me check. Good. We have time to make a lot of things. So now we go straight and I show you something I like.
Okay.
Tell me if you're tired. I don't think so.
No.
No.
You're tired?
So how old are these buildings?
Which one?
This building right here.
You can have buildings that were built 2, 3, 4, 5 centuries ago, but in Venice nothing was destroyed and turning down when they were remaking a new building. So maybe the facade, and I can recognize that these facades are not older than 1700s. Facades are covering interior, or maybe behind structures that were made 1, 2, 3 centuries older.
So the sidewalks are getting narrower. The passageways get narrower.
Yeah, I mean, they were like this without any problem. And even because, remember that the most important ways to get around Venice were not the alleys, were
The canals.
the canals. The 400 bridges were not all built at the same time. They were built slowly, and people were getting around by boat. Look. I wanted to tell you this from this bridge, so you just asked me what I was almost going to say. First, you can read some name here, and you can understand who was living here, when well, not living, just passing a few weeks when he was. Ciao Riccardo, ciao Vecchio. Bella giornata qua, Era ora, boia. Stavo bene, sa. He was coming here when he was 15 years old with his father, attending to Carnival in 1771, if I remember well, yes, true, 1771. Just because, or even because Venice was one of the European capital of the music at that time. And apart from Mozart that I just wanted to show you, this is a private hotel, so these people are probably living or working over there, and they enjoy their smoking possibilities from there. And as you can see, and I don't know about